Have you ever wondered why some people seem to easily climb the corporate ladder, and those people get all the benefits from a new position, like bonuses and respect and accolade? They're given networking opportunities and all the credit for new deals, while on the other hand, you are struggling even to get a cost of living increase, maybe a 5% raise, and you're just frustrated? How does it come to be that someone who just came into your company a few months ago and works in the same position as you just got promoted? And not only that, but it seems like they already have a clear path to another promotion. Are they lucky? What it really comes down to is 3 simple qualities that you can embody in order to get the progress that you deserve in your career. What I'm gonna say here is these are 3 qualities that all bosses are looking for. And when I say all bosses, I really mean all good bosses. You're here to handle what you can control, not to blame external situations, right? The first quality that you control is your attitude. And listen, we all know we have 3 kinds of attitudes. There's a negative attitude, a neutral attitude, and a positive attitude. So we're gonna start with negative. If you are the person who just can't change, who does not see the world positively, who is constantly finding faults or dragging the team down, well, you can forget about getting that deserved promotion. This behavior, this negative attitude, creates a toxic work environment. It lowers morale and it slows the productivity of the overall team. And honestly, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, because your negative energy is a cancer to the team. As a branch manager, I had a banker, a salesperson who was a longtime banker and very accomplished. In fact, she had been a branch manager, but she grew negative about the job. She grew negative about the job and the company, and eventually was not meeting her sales quota. There was another young banker, and he blew away all of his sales goals. Now, she knew more, but he had a better attitude. And now he is one of the top managers in the company. No surprise. So when it comes to fixing the negative attitude, number 1, practice gratitude. And listen, this sounds like BS to some of us, but literally say out loud what you're grateful for. Number 2, change the music that you listen to. Rap and blues are going to impact your attitude. If you listen to chill vibes on Spotify, that's going to change your attitude. Gospel music is going to change your attitude. Number 3, do an act of service. Give your time to someone who needs it. I promise this one works. And finally, number 4, work out. Go for a 5-mile walk. Lift heavy weights. This is a form of accomplishment that's going to lift your attitude. Let's talk about a neutral attitude. A neutral attitude, as compared to a negative attitude, might seem harmless, but it can also be a big drag when it comes to your career progression. Someone with a neutral attitude is always present but not engaged. They show up to meetings, but they don't contribute much to the team. They're just being there, and nobody really notices them. Most of the time, people like that are forgotten because they don't make a noticeable impact. And while those people may not cause problems, they also don't bring any significant value to the team. So here's how you can tell if you fall into this neutral attitude category. When someone asks you your opinion, do you actually have one? Like, really? Do you have an opinion about the situation, about life, about anything? If you don't, this is actually something that deserves a lot of time and attention. You're going to have to fix this. Here's the action plan. Be selective about the inputs in your life. I just talked about music. So let's include people in that. If you haven't heard this before, lots of people reference it. You are the average of the people that you hang out with. And then ask this question. The things that you do, are they interesting? Those people that you do things with, do they push you to new limits and expand your capacity? Do the things that you do generate a learning and growth opportunity? Read books that'll give you something to talk about, and stop watching the mainstream news and curate your social media feed. Now let's talk about a positive attitude. We talked about negative, we talked about neutral, let's talk about positive attitude. Now, a positive attitude is more than just being cheerful. It's also about being resilient and adaptable. And besides those 2 things, mindset plays a big role here. You need to have a proactive and positive mindset. Being the employee that always adds to meetings, that isn't afraid to be wrong, that is talkative, that says hello, that gets peers a coffee or always has a smile on, all of these things are really important, and your boss is going to remember you as a nice person, and they will most likely give you that well-deserved promotion. Now, people like that are always going to be kept around so long as they're not losing the company tons of money. See, this attitude makes you a person that other people want to work with. And here's the thing, Even you screw up, I screw up, and I'm misunderstood, and people think that I'm doing things wrong and for bad reasons. People think that about me. So you gotta just believe that people are good, and that's gonna help your attitude be positive overall. And listen, when people are incompetent, just move on, but don't be bitter about it. Now listen, if you're in the grind right now and you're working towards that big goal, a challenging endeavor, and you have a positive attitude, well listen, you're already well on your way to succeeding in any company and getting on the good side of any good boss. Let's talk about effort. Effort is the key to exceeding expectations. Now let's take a moment and think. I want you to listen to the next thing that I say, and I want you to answer honestly. Are you the type of person who just clocks in before start time and leaves as soon as the workday ends? Or are you someone who works until the job is done, focuses on the details, and takes pride in your work? The extra effort that you invest will often go unnoticed at first, but it builds a strong foundation for future success. Why? Because you're building the muscle of discipline. And if you keep at it, if you keep up this kind of work ethic, there is zero way that you're gonna go unnoticed, because your boss is gonna see on paper the results that you're producing. Listen, I worked hard, but there wasn't anything that I would ask my team to do that I wasn't willing to do myself. What's all that effort without consistency? If you wanna become someone who will put in the extra effort and someone who will be consistent so you can be the best on your team and do the most of the important work in the project, let me share another important action plan with you. Number one, use a calendar and schedule the important stuff. Number two, review the calendar regularly. Number three, get comfortable rescheduling things that you committed to but you shouldn't have. And number four, block time. And listen, these are 12-hour days, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. They're not all filled with work at a desk, but they're all filled with productivity. Working out is productive. I'm talking about discipline. Schedule it all, and you have to be able to say no. All right, the last quality I want to talk about today is really the power of progress. Progress is super important because this is what allows you to look for new and better ways to do things. In order to do this, you've got to be engaged in continuous learning. Continuous learning in the business world is dynamic. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. So you have to keep learning. You have to stay curious. But most importantly, you got to keep your boss up to date with the latest innovation. Help them stay in front of the curve. This mindset makes you indispensable to your team and to the company, and this is super important, especially if you're aiming at a position of being the manager or eventually the CEO. You see, everybody wants their leader to follow the trends and take advantage of new technologies, but you have to know which are the right ones to follow. So listen, there you have it. 3 qualities that can help you consistently advance in your career. Are you bringing a positive attitude to work every day? Are you putting in consistent effort and going above and beyond? And number 3, are you committed to continuous progress and improvement? It's only when your answer to all 3 of these questions is yes that you're ready to progress in your career. Now, I hope that you found this helpful, encouraging, insightful. If you have, please subscribe to the channel. We've got more insights on career advancement and leadership. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I try to engage with everybody in the comments directly. It's me, it's not a bot. If you're struggling, if you're feeling depressed or overlooked in your career, I actually legitimately want to help you. So fill out the Google form that we've got here. And until next time, keep pushing forward. Stay proactive in your career journey. Here's to your success. Let's grow.